Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse post-game show after a very devastating loss. Look at that score, 129-89. This game was basically over after the first quarter. But, you know, we've seen the Knicks come back. We've seen them, you know, they're the never-say-die Knicks. So, you know, I wasn't going to give up hope at that point, though everything I had seen definitely gave me pause. But again, like I said, they fought back before when I thought they were dead. So I was hoping that we'd see something in that second quarter, and it only got worse. It only got worse. And by the half, I think they were down 30 or something like that. It was rough. It was rough, you know, especially for all the Knicks mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you were able to enjoy your Mother's Day despite this loss. And for all the Knicks fans who had to suffer through that kind of a display. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not surprised at all. When I was on the KOT show doing the preview of this series, I basically predicted there was going to be a game when the Pacers were going to come and shoot the lights out and blow us out. This is that game. What makes this more difficult to deal with is it's coming on the heels of that Game 3 loss that was rough. That was very rough. We had the game won. We were up 9 with over 9 minutes left in the game. And all we could score was 8 more points for the rest of the game. And basically handed that victory to them. There were mistakes made. There were definitely incorrect calls against us. A goaltending call that wasn't made on Turner. I showed that video. If you check my Twitter account, you could see basically the ball did hit the backboard right before Turner's fingers touch it. And then there was just dumb plays like Dante, even though he had an amazing game 3, you know, that goaltending. He did commit goaltending right there. So that's a 4-point swing right there. And in a tight game, that can kill you. Missed free throws, that kills you. So all those things start haunting you. And then when you come into a game like today, short turnaround, the Knicks players who are already playing on, you know, near empty. The needle's not hitting empty on these players. You know, Josh Hart, Dante, Jalen Brunson playing on a hobbled leg. It's not a joke. It's for real. Even Isaiah Hartenstein, he's playing incredibly hurt as well. So all of these things were eventually going to catch up with the Knicks, this team, and this was the game that happened. It was an early start time. Let's add that to it. So, you know, it was a 7:30 start on Friday, and they had to turn around for a 3:30 start on Sunday. So not even they don't even get full 48 hours in between. This is a team that's been playing full 48 minutes. So this was that game. The thing to ask yourselves is, I'm trying to pull up some stats. The thing to ask yourselves is this going to come back and haunt us? Is this going to catch up? Is this going to continue to plague us throughout the rest of this series? Well, is everything okay with the stream? Feels a little low. Everything's in sync. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for joining me here. Welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George. If you haven't followed me yet, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm mostly active on Twitter. Hit that thumbs up for me as well. And if you're watching this later in the replay or on your own or whatever, you got comments, drop them in the comment section. I read them all. And like I say, you guys are my collaborators on this. Definitely helps me especially when I overlook stuff. But Sandman, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. When I say this team is relentless, I also am talking about even when they have at this point that they're at right now. The Pacers are a high-octane offense. So you combine a high-octane offense at home, knowing that they cannot go back to New York down 3-1, and an incredibly tired, fatigued, and depleted team. And their best player is right now, Jalen Brunson is just 3/4 of himself. and that was in game 3. I thought I was going to see a better version of Jalen Brunson in game 4 than we saw in game 3. In fact, we saw the reverse. So the question is, can they recover for game 5? I believe yes. And the reasons I believe yes are very simple and clear. One, home cooking. Home cooking, the buzz at the Garden, and also I believe that this team also knows that they cannot go back to Indiana down 3-2. Same thing that Indiana was thinking. They couldn't go to MSG down 3-1. Knicks know they can't go back to Indiana down 3-2. So, all those things combined, they will find the ability, the energy, and the fight, because we've seen the evidence of it all year long. They can do it. This exact depleted team has beaten this exact Pacers team before. Starting Precious, without OG, without Randall, without Mitch, this team back on February 1st was able to beat the Indiana Pacers at home, 109-105, and that's the score I'm going to predict for this Tuesday. Right there. But the difference is Brunson wasn't limping. He wasn't ailing in that game. So it does come down to whether his foot somehow with treatment, maybe some shots, whatever it is, he's got to get the max. He's got to ask for the max. He's got to get it, and he's got to put it on the floor. If he does that, we can win. And even if he can't give us that version of himself, but we get the game 3 version, which wasn't that great a version. He needed 26 shots to give us 26 points, whatever it was. But he creates the gravity, he creates the double teams, and it allows other guys to hit their shots, like Dante, who had a terrible game today after the incredible game 3 he had. That's another reason why today feels worse than it should. Why it feels worse than it should, because we basically had an amazing performance from Dante. 35 points or whatever in game 3. He didn't get anywhere near close to that tonight. So are we going to see a repeat of that? I believe that is a higher probability that we see a bounce back game from Dante than we see a Jalen Brunson type game like we saw in February 1st, where he put up 40 points. But look, Brunson struggled from the 3-point line in that game. He gave us 40 points, but he was 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. So there is, and Josh Hart also didn't play a good game that game. 5 points for him. But Deuce McBride came through big time. I think Burks had another decent game tonight. I think it's just all there in the cards. And I just don't see this team just giving up. There's just no way it's going to happen. OG is not going to be able to play Tuesday, so don't put that thought in your heads. He's not going to be able to play. If he does, I'll eat all the crow. I don't care. But highly doubtful that he'll play. In fact, I think even Woj reported that he probably wouldn't play. Could he come for a game 6? Let's say we drop game 5. Could he make himself ready for a game 6? We'll see. I don't know. But let's say we win game 5, drop game 6, and then we have a game 7 at the Garden. I think that has a higher probability that we might see OG for a game 7. But again, they said 2 weeks. It's 10 to 14 days to recover from a hamstring strain. Ian Begley has reported that he's getting treatment 2 or 3 times a day. So he is on the fast track commitment to returning. Again, still up in the air. But I believe that the current team, the current roster that we have right now has enough to take care of business to win 2 out of 3 against these Pacers. That is my belief. I've been seeing it all season. And I'm not going to move off that belief right now. And I don't think any of you guys can either. Hey, Buzzer Beater, I could not get the halftime stream going. It was delayed. It was also pretty crowded. It was actually, the watch party was a lot of fun. If it weren't for the watch party, I may not be as, kind of like dealing with the the pain of this loss as well as I am. You know, being around a bunch of other Knicks fans, awesome Knicks fans that showed up, and it's also my son's birthday actually today, and he was there with his friends who are also Knicks fans, and you know, it was just great. You know, so it was family, it was friends, it was you know, Knicks fans. It was a great vibe. So it softened the blow. Also, what softened the blow is it wasn't another loss like it was game 3. That loss that's very frustrating. Like, when you get blown out, you get blown out. We're tired. Our main guy's hobbling. You know, we got blown out. It happens. But we have won 2 games already. You know, and we were missing OG for half of that second game. So I'm not gonna say it's all OG. But there are certain dynamics that are in place because of that situation that we can't ignore. So we're going to keep going. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Smash the emoji thing down there. I heard that it matters. Let's move on here. Let's go to... I do have highlights for you. I don't know. We'll see how much we watch. I have the first 3 quarters. Knicks loss. Oh, no. That's the old one. That's not correct. You know what? Let me fix this here. Sorry about that. Remove that. Here we go. Let me get this other stat here. Oh boy, what a brutal game, man. Oh, I made a mistake there. Oh well. Anyway, let's get to it. The Knicks lost 121. Come on. Okay, there we go. So, this is... I don't know what's happening here. Can try and stop this here. Computer's running a little slow. Mistake. Those. I'll be right back. I will be back. Or maybe I'll just wait. CPU catch up. You know, gonna go back. Yeah, the stream cut out. What this? It's better. Yeah, what is this? Flares. It's all flares.